Welcome back to Elements of Chemistry. In this episode, we're going to continue our study of the metric system, but we're going to be talking about how to convert between metric units using simple math ratios. So in other words, we're going to be starting the chemical topic of dimensional analysis. The metric system allows for quick and easy conversion between units because all the prefixes are based on 10. For example, 1 centimeter equals 1 meter, or 1 meter equals 1 centimeter. These are called unity values. They equal 1. Both 1 meter and 100 centimeters are the same thing. That's like saying 12 inches is 1 foot. It just depends on what you're using. So in ratio form, this would be 1 meter, my pencil to work, over 100 centimeters, or we could express it as 100 centimeters to 1 meter. They're unity values. They both equal 1. When we use them in math, they're not going to change the value or size of the number. 10 decimeters equals 1 meter, or 1 meter equals 10 decimeters. That would be 10 decimeters to 1 meter, or 1 meter to 10 decimeters. They both have a value of 1. Here, 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. We could put it as 1 kilometer to 1,000 meters, or 1,000 meters to 1 kilometer. So let's look at these solving ratios. If we want to convert 125 milliliters into liters, we first need to identify the ratio. We know that there's 1,000 milliliters to 1 liter. We start with our given. We want to get rid of 125 milliliters and somehow turn that into liters. Well, by multiplying it by a ratio, we have milliliters. We want to get rid of it. It has to go to the bottom, and liters goes on top. For every 1 liter, there's 1,000 milliliters. Now we can come in here and cancel out milliliters with milliliters, because this is just multiplying fractions. This is like saying if we had x squared over 2 times 1 over x, we can cancel out one of these x's in x squared, because x squared is x times x. One of these x's will cancel out this one. We multiply across the top, and we just get x over 2 as our answer. So this is going to tell me I'm going to have 125 over 1,000, and liters is still up there. Now, when we take 125 divided by 1,000, we're going to get 0.125, and our answer is liters. And you're going, well, that's a lot of work. Decimal hopping was a lot easier. Yes, it was, but this will work every time. And this will work when you start getting into more complicated units. Let's try converting 125 liters are given. And now we want to convert it to milliliters. So now we're going to have that 1,000 milliliters on top. The 1 liter goes on the bottom. We'll come in here and cross cancel our liters. And we're going to get an answer of 125,000 milliliters. The key is to be able to cross cancel your units. If a unit is on top, and we can cancel it on the bottom. We can do that with zeros and other common numbers as well. So let's try some together. We're looking at decimeter to meter. Well, we know that there's 10 decimeters to 1 meter. That's going to give me my ratio. We've got 25 decimeters. Now we want to have decimeter on the bottom. 1 meter is going to have to go on top. There's 10 decimeters for every 1 meter. We're going to cross cancel this, and that's going to give me 2.5 meters. 125 milliliters. We want to convert it to liters. For every 1 liter, there's 1,000 milliliters. Milliliters on the bottom, those cancel. 0.125 liters. We can do this with scientific notation as well. Start with your given, 125, 1.25 times 10 to the 6th seconds. We know kilo and seconds. For every 1 kilosecond, kilo means 1,000. There's 1,000 seconds. 1,000 is the same thing as 1 times 10 to the 3rd power. So we can change that out. When we are dividing exponents, we literally are just subtracting it. So this is going to be 1.25 times 10 to the 6 minus 3, because we're subtracting it because we're dividing. That's going to be 1.25 times 10 to the 3rd kiloseconds. Our seconds cross-canceled. Now you try some. I'm going to try 3 of these. You can stop the video, do these, and then when you've got them completed, come back and we'll check your work. Okay, we're going to assume that you've stopped and completed these. So let's try some. We've got 623 meters. We want to convert this into kilometers. For every 1 kilometer, there's 1,000 meters. So this tells me I'm going to cross out my meters, use my units as my guide. I know which's got to be on top and what's got to be on bottom. If I'd put kilometers on the bottom, I would have had meters squared per kilometer and nothing would have canceled. This is going to give me 0.623 kilometers. 623 kilometers going to meters. There's 1,000 meters for every 1 kilometer. Forgot the M there. Kilometer. The kilometers are going to cross cancel. 623,000 meters. We want to go kilometers to decimeters. Okay, this is the first time we're not going to a base unit. So we can approach this 2 ways. Personally, I always like just to go back to the base. We can take 623 kilometers. What do I know about a kilometer? Well, I know that there's 1,000 meters to every 1 kilometer. That gets rid of the kilometers, but I don't want meters, I want decimeters. So for every 1 meter, meter has to be on the bottom so it can cross cancel, there's 10 decimeters. So now we're going to take 623 times 1,000 times 10, because these meters here are going to cancel out. So 6,230,000 decimeters. When you're converting with multiple steps, like we did in this last question, we've always got to convert going back to the base step, or you can do multiple steps at one time. Another way to do that would be looking at it and going, there's 623 kilometers. Oops, sorry, jumping ahead here. And there's 10,000 decimeters in 1 kilometer. That's a 1 step. But that means that you've got to remember your staircase a little better. In our next video, we're going to discuss dimensional analysis in more detail and how to convert between unit systems using different metric units as a guide, using standard customary units as our guide, just generally converting anything we need to convert. I hope this video helped. Remember, stay curious, be kind, and stay safe. Have a wonderful day.